Democratic Party, we're watching you.
Yeah.
We are disappointed.
Yeah.
We are angry.
Yes.
We are offended. And we feel like we're being mistreated, misused, and disrespected. We will not continue to be disrespected by the Democratic Party. As I said yesterday, and I'll say today and tomorrow, if you're an independent candidate, Green Party candidate, Republican candidate, now is your time in this city.
In today's world, there are very few times where I am actually surprised and can't believe what I'm seeing. This is one of those cases. MSNBC, the left-wing channel that has hosts such as Rachel Maddow and Joy Reid and all of the other left-wing activists, Al Sharpton, they actually did some real reporting, some real journalism, and it was unfiltered. They actually had a real conversation with a black woman in Chicago who said that she is leaving the Democratic Party. Let's take a listen.
Democratic Party, we're watching you.
Yeah.
We are disappointed.
Yeah.
We are angry.
Yes.
We are offended. And we feel like we're being mistreated, misused, and disrespected.
It's sad that it took the illegal immigration situation in Chicago and New York and these other cities to wake up the eyes and the minds of some black people. But I'm glad to see it. I'm glad to see they're waking up to the fact that it's Democratic policies, by and large, that have contributed to the blight, to the destruction, to the dismantling of the black community.
We will not continue to be disrespected by the Democratic Party. As I said yesterday, and I'll say today and tomorrow, if you're an independent candidate, Green Party candidate, Republican candidate, now is your time in this city.
Joining us now, the Chicago resident you just heard there, Kata Truss. Kata, it's really great to have you. Tell me what you are frustrated about specifically.
Well, one of the things that I'm frustrated about is the fact that the Biden administration is not handling the migrant crisis in a way that it is good for them or the cities that the migrants are being sent to. I certainly don't want to demonize the migrants because not a lot of what is happening is their fault. I think that our mayor, our governor, as well as President Biden, has to step in and make some changes to what is happening right now. Right now, it seems as if our borders are just open and that people are freely coming in and that there are no laws that are being followed in terms of immigration. And so
That's intentional, because you have to understand the Clyde Piven strategy. They want to overwhelm this system to the point to where it fails, until it collapses on itself, and then they replace it with the Marxist, communist, socialist system that benefits them. That's why President Biden is all about open borders. He doesn't believe in borders. He's in the tank with George Soros and them. So that's why they're not going to close the border. President Biden can close the border right now. He can reinstitute the stay in Mexico policies and the other policies through a stroke of a pen using executive orders. But he rescinded those. He doesn't want to do anything about it. But the plan is backfiring on him because he didn't anticipate Greg Abbott sending those migrants to Chicago and black folks speaking out about it.
what is happening here in Chicago is that we are seeing our city spend up to $48 million a month to house and take care of migrants. Now, when you talk about the Black communities here in the city of Chicago, and you talk about the years of disinvestment in our communities, in our schools, and all around us, and you see this amount of money being spent to people who have come from outside of this country, that is a problem for us. And I think that one of the reasons I got involved in this is because when you talk about coming into the Austin community, a community that has already been blighted and disinvested in, and talking about one of the major crown jewels of the community. You're talking about taking it away from the community to house migrants at a time where we're seeing increased crime because our children don't have things to do, they don't have jobs, and we're seeing this money being spent, and it's being spent on other people in communities that could really benefit for that money. Here in Chicago, I was sitting in a meeting with the Board of Education, and they talked about a $391 million shortfall that they're going to have this upcoming year. And when you look at the money that has been
And that's all because of the migrants.
spent on the migrants, you know, we have a problem with that. And I heard someone say earlier that here in Chicago, we're talking about turning away from the Democratic Party. I have already turned. I will be voting Republican this time around. And I don't think that that's just a sentiment of Cotta Trust. I think that's the sentiment of a lot of people around the entire United States.
Woo! She dropped the gavel on MSNBC. I'm surprised they didn't take this woman off the air. I'm surprised they didn't cut her mic. She just said on MSNBC, which is watched by a lot of black folks, that she is no longer voting Democrat. She's going to vote Republican. And I agree with her. That sentiment is being echoed all across black communities in America. Black folks, let me tell you something. Don't buy into these news stories that the media is pushing right now, saying that President Trump is not getting much in terms of a noticeable difference or bump in the black community. They're doing that to deflate this. They're doing that to deflate the turnout for black folks for Donald Trump. That's what they're doing because they know it's an issue. They see the numbers. They know. They talk to people. They know it's an issue. So what do? They go on defense to write these articles and tell you about how Joe Biden is doing this for black folks. Joe Biden is doing this for black people. Please. They're scared. And people like her are the reason why they're scared.
And basically, you know, for years, the Democratic Party has taken our vote for granted, and they feel that they can continue to ignore us, not support us, not give us the things that we need in our communities, and we're going to continue to vote for them. We are not our grandparents. We're different. And when we see that you don't have our best interests at heart, we're going to go elsewhere. I'm going elsewhere.
Cotta, that's a big statement.
Wow. That anchor shocked. She can't believe that.
If President Biden were listening right now, or the White House was listening, what would you tell them to try to get your vote back?
I don't know that they can get my vote back. I think that one of the biggest problems with this whole situation is when this started, I called my congressman, I called my state representative, I called my state senator, I called our Cook County commissioner, and I tried to sit down to meet with them. I even called our mayor, and I wanted...
All Democrats. Just want you to know that. They're all Democrats in Illinois.
To sit down and talk to them to find out if there was just something that I was missing, if there was some information that I needed in order to make me sit comfortably with what was happening. And nobody had time to sit down with me. Nobody had time to meet with me to discuss this issue. And so as important as this issue has become to the black community, and the fact that our mayor, who I know, whom I supported, whom I donated money to his campaign, has not bothered to pick up the phone and to call me and to talk to me about what's happening, is a slap in the face for me. And so, no, I cannot support people who will not support me and my community.
Cotta Trust, Cotta, thank you very much for joining us. Again, as I said at the top, a flashing red light for Democrats come this November. Cotta, thank you.
Yeah, it's a flashing red light, but the Democrats not going to do anything about it. I'm going to tell you, there's a great shift happening in America. It's no longer about left and right. It's really no longer about Republican and Democrat. It's about people who want to represent their constituents accurately, that we are a constitutional republic and that the politicians work for us, And those who want to continue the political class, the bougie elite, especially the black bougie elite, who get benefits, who get privileges from endorsing and supporting policies that are detrimental to black people at large, who get these kickbacks. So there is a shift happening. See, it happens gradually and then it happens suddenly. And if you have the ability to see, if you have discernment, especially as a believer, you see it. You see what's happening. You see the shift that's happening. People are going from having a victim mentality to recognizing that no, they're not victims. They are empowered for greatness. That's why a lot of black people are not attending these traditional churches anymore, because they're tired of being told that they're victims. They're tired of being told that the only way they can get out of their situation is to back a Democrat. That's the only way. Well, the days of just backing a Democrat because you're black is over. I'll say that again. The days for backing a Democrat just because you're black is over. Finished.